The last part of the Asylum series. I keep saying the Asylum series, but it's just the Asylum series. Just want to clear that up in the last part of the video. Like I said, I think this continues on the psychosis part, but I could be wrong. Let's see. There's a certain... Actually, let me make sure. This is... If you don't know, this is creepypastas. How he starts out. I'm making sure it's the right video. The right words. But you should check out Mr. Creepypasta. I put him in the description of one of my other videos. I think it was the third video. He also has music in his background.
There's a certain...
See, he reads like 5 times better than me just from these 2 words. Okay, let's start. There's a certain allure in the chase, an enjoyment of the game itself. Win or lose, you're still playing, still making move and counter move, full of energy and action throughout. There's a sense of importance that no other activity can really match. The game is the game, but now it's over, and I'll admit, I'll miss the feeling. Although having that horrible truth, possessing it and holding it close like a prized treasure, the truth can almost replace that feeling. I won. I felt that I was on the path to victory once I calmed down from my delusion about the patients escaping. I realized that I had quite a few cards in my hand to be played. My unknown opponent had made a mistake somewhere and allowed me far too many leads. The first, the girl I helped escape during my delusion was nowhere to be found. Her room was empty and her file was deleted. None of the other staff could remember her, and I believed some of them. An old nurse like Mabel would not possibly be part of a conspiracy so dark and vast. Her primary concern was the next episode of her soaps. But I wrote about the girl. I have the words on my computer and on the internet. I told no one here that I've been writing about patients. I would immediately be fired for obvious reasons. I have the words and I remember. Memories are tricky, as I know personally, but the words are still there. Furthermore, I went through the patients one by one, looking for discrepancies. I just got kicked from the party. Oh, I didn't get kicked, but let me just make sure I am actually can join the party again, because my internet's effing up. My internet is effing. I don't know why. Is it not going? Yes, I did. Okay, my internet's effing up for some reason, so we will see if I get... So if I leave, but I'm reading something, so I'm gonna get back to that. Okay. Sorry, guys. I'm in a party. They can't hear me, but I still want to be in the party, per se. So let's see. Memories are tricky, as I know personally. Yes. Are you gonna literally interrupt? Do you want me to read the story to you? Because I muted myself so I wouldn't have to read the story to you guys. I mean, if he's in a private party, I wouldn't know, so. I usually, this is how I work. So, he's playing Fortnite. Well, is anyone else playing? Well, they could be online. Well, she's on Fortnite, but they're not playing a game together. So, I would assume no. But, I am reading a story, though, so. I don't want to, spam the whole... Look, I'm already paused on this little video, and, but people are like, what's going on? But I'm gonna... Okay. Yeah, my Internet is going crap. Yeah, it's kicking everyone. At least it's not just me. I think it actually might be PlayStation, to be honest. Okay, sorry guys. We're trying to figure something out on PlayStation. This video might be a little longer because of this, so let's see. But the memories are... I probably read this... I'm gonna read this for the third time, but memories are tricky, as I know personally, but the words are still there. Furthermore, I went through the patients one by one looking for discrepancies. I could have just helped the girl escape while having an episode. That proved nothing. But while so deluded, I saw one patient carve up another, even had his lungs slide up against my shoe. The murdered patient was missing too. At that point, I had a few logical choices to consider about my opponent. A strong, but imperfect case could have been made that somewhere in the maze of owners and financial backers and stockholders behind this place, some nefarious corporation had an agenda involving the patients and their various insanities. The likeliest intent was to incubate and refine mimetic hazards, ideas, carefully constructed, to infect anyone who heard them, carefully constructed to spread and destroy. This would be a new kind of weapon, perhaps changing warfare forever. Their primary agent would have been the chief of medicine, and as much of my paranoia, delusions, and inconsistencies could have been explained by drugs and my painkillers, meant to imbalance me and discredit me should I uncover their agenda. The foremost problem with that theory is the lack of recall on the part of the staff. Perhaps someone was lying. Perhaps Mabel just rarely interacted with the girl. Perhaps some didn't care enough to remember individual patients. But all of them? It felt wrong. While an uncharacteristic downpour on the roof filled the building with the constant rhythm of heavy rain, I stalked the halls, eyeing everything. I asked the responsive patients if they remembered the girl, and they did. The only people that could remember her were the patients and me. That struck me as extremely important. No, the corporate angle didn't add up. The corporation angle, maybe. The booming thunder outside added to my tension. There were other explanations. I could have been a patient myself. The signs were not lost on me. Claire had been employed here, and I suspected the chief of medicine had some idea she was off balance. But her particular brand of insanity was harmless. For most people, my bandaged hand had begun itching painfully sometime that morning, and it added on my undercurrent of increasing anger to my strategizing. I dwelled often on the nature of memory and insanity. I had nothing to prove that I was not myself, some sort of employed patient with carefully crafted delusion of a normal life beyond the walls of the establishment. The sun did feel ages distant, but the rising storm outside made even that luxury impossible. All the specific memories I could recall had no basis other than what sanctity, probably. I granted them. I asked myself if it mattered. I asked myself where that logic would lead. It would lead backwards to the conditions that created the situation. Someone like Claire, someone like me, potentially, employed to watch over the other patients. That meant critical underfunding, so much so that the moral and ethical lines had long since been redrawn or erased. It meant a world filling up with people, a world I can't even, struggle for resources, a dark, dreary, and painful reality for the human race. That was a situation with no enemy and thus no victory. Humanity would suffer increasingly as the population rose, and only some great disaster or rupturing of morals would offer any salvation. Adding to the strength of that theory was the story of every patient here. The pressures and brutalities of society had pushed them all in this direction. Perhaps it was society itself that was insane, and these poor men and women were merely the most unfortunate victims of that derangement. That notion felt right, but my being insane required a crumbling society. While reversed, the existence of a crumbling society did not necessarily mean I can't talk. I'm sorry. necessarily mean I was insane. These tracks had consumed my investigation, but I had been giving. I can't. Okay, sorry. My mind's elsewhere. I'm sorry, guys. But I had not given a third option by the last patient I interviewed. His was a tale of deception and control, and it profoundly disturbed me. I'd been interrupted writing it up, but the more I thought about it, the more the pieces seemed to fit. A sudden spike in the intensity of the rain reminded me of something, and then it hit me. I'd read this story before, his story. I'd read it on the internet. His file was missing from here. Had someone else read it and put it up? Or had he done it before admission here? My mom's about to come in, so be ready for it. The details wouldn't have been lost to time, so I decided not to pursue them. It was the greater framework that was important. I began to entertain an expanded notion of reality. Hypothetically, if the bone marker had been real, it had been fighting some worse force on a grand scale. Was that force also my opponent now? What was its concern with me, with this building and its patients? I had seen I can't talk. I had seen absolutely no indication.
Dad,
Hey, yep.
Get off of it. We're going to pick your dad.
Oh, well, this is the first time this has happened. You guys, we're gonna finish this part. I had seen absolutely no indication of any outside force. We're picking up on it. I'm sorry to split this into two parts, but I don't think I can pause this, so I can try. No. Nope, I can't. I'm gonna have to pause this in two parts. I'm sorry, guys. I maybe be able to get Ethan to put these two videos together. I'll try. I'm gonna leave it right there for now.